And so from a team point of view, what do companies need to do to discover everyone's strengths? What should they do there and to develop that?
Great. I think that one of the best things that organisations can do is to create a common language. I think velocity has a way to play inside an organisation. The quicker that you can support people understanding their strengths in a common way or a common language, the easier it is for an organisation. What happens when you move slowly is you almost create two groups of people. Those that have the realisation of strengths, and so if you're pulling them out of the system, giving them a language around strengths and putting them back into a system that doesn't talk about strengths, it becomes really difficult. So the more that you can work with intact teams across the organisation and give them one common language. And what I often say is one common language means use one diagnostic tool or one strengths profiling tool for the whole organisation. Make a very conscious choice as to what is the right tool for the organisation based on the organisational objectives, and use that. The challenge when you've got if you're not prescriptive about that is you might have several different tools or assessments and they may say the same thing but slightly differently, and it's enough to create tension in the system that has people not understanding your strengths because I don't understand the language in which you're using compared to the language that I'm using.
Okay. In terms of, so everyone in the team knows, is doing the same strengths assessment. How do I then communicate to someone else, these are my strengths, and what does this strength mean? How do I communicate that to someone?
When I've worked with different organisations, we really look at doing it as intact teams, so taking a whole team through the journey to help everyone understand what all of these strengths actually mean. Where are they at their best? What do the blind spots look like? How do we create a common language? And what we typically do with teams is set up a couple of challenges. And the first one is to spot strengths in others. So really for over the course of 30 or 60 days for teams to watch for their peers, their direct reports or their managers' strengths in action and provide feedback of where that added value. Okay. And so it's that practice of seeing other people's strengths in action and then transitioning from intentionally borrowing someone else's strength. So when you've got a big objective, when you've got a big deadline, when you've got a key piece of work that needs to be delivered and delivered well, intentionally seeking out someone else's strength to experiment borrowing their strength. And it starts to increase the vernacular across the team and the practice of understanding other people's, seeing them in action and knowing when to pull them in for the collective performance.